So I was listening to the ABC a while ago, probably about last week, and they had this farming lady on. Like she was a soybean manufacturer. Soybean farmer on. And she was basically saying about like how the Australian, like made in Australia, sort of system was kind of messed up. Essentially, like if a product is made in Australia and like it's from 90% of Australian ingredients, it will show up on like your bar. So, just a quick perspective is you'll often have like a green triangle with a yellow kangaroo in the middle, and it'll say "Made in Australia," and that's essentially a way of identifying if product is made in Australia. And oftentimes there'll be like a bar, and like there'll be like a line saying like it's made from like 80% of like Australian ingredients, so the bar will be like 80%. This lady was saying like they could say like with some laws or something like where you'd be like 99% Australian ingredients because like 99% of the product is Australian made. So like say you've got like a soybean milk or drink or whatever, like you filled up like you know 99 mils is Australian water and 1 mil is fucking Chinese soy, all right? That would be still be considered 99% Australian. Which I don't really reckon should be the case. And like if you look at the bar, it's a bit harder to tell. So I reckon Australia should move towards having like a 5-star system, where you've got 5 empty stars. If there are 5 0 like empty stars, it means nothing's made in Australia. It's not made from any Australian ingredients. However, if you got 5 full stars, that means the soy is made in Australia with all the Australian water, and the packaging's made in Australia. Obviously, the fucking buttons and levers in the machine to produce the cartons, to produce like the cartons of don't have to be made in Australia, nor the machines actually within the factories have to be made in Australia. It just means that all the ingredients and bulk of it, like what you see, is made in Australia and grown from Australian products. I think they should also move to a four, if you've got like four stars, that means you're still missing an ingredient or two that's like not made in Australia. For example, that could be like your soy. If your soy isn't made in Australia, but your water and your bottles are, it should be a 4-star rating. 3 stars is like half the stuff. 2 stars is you know even less. I think that would just make things a lot easier for consumers as well, because you look and you see 5 full stars and you go, it's completely made in Australia. If you see 4 full stars, you go, they're getting fucking close with that. I might consider it, or I might pay an extra 20 cents or 10 cents for my soy milk, which does have those 5 full stars. I just believe they should just rechange it just so it's a star system, just so it's a lot easier on consumers as well, and also like have the fifth star like be completely limited to anything that's like 100% Australian made. That way it's just easier just to identify if it is Australian made or whatever. And like say you've got like oat milk, or no, not oat milk. Say you've got some fucking fancy oil for your engine, like WD-40 or something like that, and there's one chemical that's off. What I'm proposing itself is to not allow that to be a fucking 5-star rating. Like if this WD-40 is made in Australia and you're only getting like I don't know if they use lithium or whatever in WD-40. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like if you're getting your lithium from overseas, I don't know, random example. I believe like it shouldn't be allowed to be a 5th star. I think it should only be a 4-star rating, and like 5 stars should only be allowed to be like completely Australian made. That way consumers can just look at it and just go, yeah, completely Australian made, or not quite, like 4 stars, not quite, but close enough. And I don't know, just give people like me, like dumb fucks, a better idea and better understanding. And I don't know, I think it could be great for farmers as well, and like small local manufacturers as well, who can get those 5 stars because can promote them like as a we're 100% Australian made, versus Nestle, like who are doing 4 stars, and you're like, oh, what's going on? I don't know, just one of my thoughts, and I just want to hear your thoughts, I guess, in the comments below.